Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're lacing up our mental pickleball shoes, I guess you could say.
Oh, yeah.
We're taking a close look at something that maybe doesn't always get the spotlight, but it's absolutely fundamental footwork.
It really is.
We've gone through our resources, dug into it, to bring you the core principles and, importantly, some actionable drills to seriously level up your agility and positioning out there on the court.
That's right. You see so much focus on like power hitting, the big shots, the spin,
Mm-hmm.
but really the ability to get to the ball efficiently and crucially in balance. That's what truly underpins a consistent game, an effective game. It's what
Well,
lets you even execute those power shots or those touch shots
right.
with precision.
Exactly. You can have the best paddle, a wicked third shot drop.
Yeah.
But if your feet aren't getting you there,
Okay.
setting you up correctly, you're just constantly playing catch up. It feels like that
Yes,
sometimes.
it does.
So this deep dive is designed to really illuminate why smart footwork is such a game changer in pickleball. And then equip you with practical drills, things you can actually use, like tomorrow, to feel the difference.
Yeah, our goal is to really underscore those tangible advantages. We're talking about the ability to anticipate, read the play, reach the ball early,
Okay.
establish that really rock-solid balance for cleaner, more controlled shots,
Mm-hmm.
recover swiftly after each hit, which is huge,
Yeah.
and ultimately drastically cut down on those self-inflicted errors, those mistakes that just make you sigh.
Oh, yeah. We all know those.
Especially when you're navigating that tricky area, the non-volley zone, the kitchen. Precise footwork there isn't just helpful, it's essential for keeping control.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit then.
Yeah.
Why is footwork so critical in pickleball? It's not like we're covering huge distances like in tennis.
That's a good point, but interestingly, while the court is compact, the rapid exchanges, the need for constant positional adjustments, it demands a unique kind of reactive agility.
Reactive agility.
Okay. Yeah, it's quite different from maybe the longer, more flowing movements you see in tennis. It's less about covering vast ground and much more about those tiny, instantaneous adjustments, those little shifts that make all the difference in being ready for whatever comes next.
That's a really great distinction. Okay, so let's break down those benefits you mentioned.
Mm.
Getting into position early, how does good footwork connect there?
Well, with efficient footwork, you start to develop this ability to read your opponent's shot sooner, maybe anticipate where it's going,
Right.
and then move proactively, get to the optimal hitting zone before the ball gets there. That extra fraction of a second, it gives you time. Time to set your feet properly, maybe take a breath, analyze the incoming ball's spin or speed, and then make a much more deliberate, better shot selection.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And maintaining balance. I mean, it seems obvious we need to be stable, right?
Uh-huh.
But are there more subtle ways poor footwork affects balance beyond just, visibly wobbling around?
Oh, definitely. Think of your feet as like the tripod for your entire shot.
Okay.
Just like a shaky camera tripod gives you a blurry picture, unstable footwork, even subtle instability, it sabotages even the most technically sound swing.
Yeah.
It's not just about being steady, it's about efficient energy transfer, starting from the ground, up through your legs, your core, into the paddle. It lets you put more controlled power or touch into your shots.
Right, the kinetic chain idea.
Exactly.
Okay. Quick recovery. That feels absolutely crucial, especially in those fast volley exchanges right up at the net. How does footwork play into that?
Oh, absolutely. The point isn't over until the ball bounces twice or goes out. Right.
Right.
So after you make contact, agile footwork lets you immediately, almost instinctively, regain your balanced, ready position,
Mm-hmm.
adjust your spacing, maybe relative to your partner or where the opponents are moving,
Yeah.
and just be ready for the next shot. This is especially critical in those really rapid-fire exchanges right at the kitchen line. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. Things happen fast there.
They do.
And, okay, those unforced errors, the ones that really make you groan.
Yep.
How does being light on your feet help cut those down?
Well, often those errors, they stem directly from being off balance or, reaching awkwardly for a shot you weren't quite prepared for.
Yeah, they do that.
We all do sometimes.
Yeah.
But when your footwork allows you to be in the right place at the right time, maybe even just a split second earlier, you're far less likely to be in a compromised position. That leads to fewer mishits, fewer shots sailing long or hitting the net. It really does come down to control, like you said earlier. It's not just about raw speed, it's controlled movement.
Control, not just speed.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, the why is definitely compelling. Now let's get practical. What specific drills can we actually do to build this crucial footwork? Let's start with the split step. That sounds pretty fundamental.
It is. The split step is, you could say, the bedrock of reactive footwork in pickleball. Really, in most racket sports.
Okay.
Think of it like loading a spring, just as your opponent is striking the ball.
Right.
Exactly. Right as they make contact, or just a fraction before, you perform a small, quick hop. You land softly on the balls of your feet, knees bent, weight centered.
Okay, small hop.
Yeah, tiny hop. And crucially, like I said, the timing is just as your opponent makes contact. This puts you in an athletic, ready stance, poised to move explosively forwards, backwards, sideways, wherever the ball goes.
The split step sounds simple conceptually, but getting that timing right, that seems like the key. It may be tricky. Are there common mistakes people make with the timing? How do you fix that?
Yeah, timing is everything with the split step. A very common mistake is doing it too early. You hop, land, and then they hit it. You've lost the benefit. Or doing it too late, after they've already hit it. Again, you're reacting slowly. You really want to land just as, or a fraction of a second after the ball leaves their paddle.
Okay.
So try focusing really hard on your opponent's paddle contact. Make that your trigger. Practice with a partner just feeding you balls, or use a ball machine if you have one. And consciously try to sync that little bounce, that landing, with the sound or sight of them hitting the ball. Recording yourself can be really insightful here, too. You might be surprised when you think you're doing it versus when you actually are.
Good tip. Recording helps see the reality.
Okay, got it.
Next up, the lateral shuffle. This sounds key for moving side to side efficiently, especially at the net, right?
Exactly. Moving along the kitchen line. For this drill, you can use cones or even just the court lines themselves as markers.
Yeah.
Start at one point, maybe the center line, and just shuffle sideways towards a marker, like the sideline. The key is without letting your feet cross over.
No crossing?
No crossing. Touch the cone or line, maybe with your foot or racket, and then immediately shuffle back to where you started. And throughout the movement, try to keep your chest and eyes facing the net. Stay low in that athletic stance.
So it's more of a controlled slide, not really a run or a sprint side to side.
Precisely. A controlled, balanced shuffle.
What exactly are we developing with this drill? What muscles, what habits?
This drill is fantastic for strengthening your lateral muscles.
Sure.
Think about the muscles on the sides of your hips and legs, your adductors and abductors.
Right.
They're absolutely essential for efficient side-to-side movement on the court. It also helps ingrain the habit of staying balanced while moving laterally, keeping your center of gravity low, and being ready to react immediately. It stops you from getting caught flat-footed or, having your weight leaning the wrong way.
Okay, builds those side mover muscles and good habits.
Yeah.
All right, next drill, the forward back sprint.
Hmm.
This seems pretty important for those transitions, right? Moving up from the baseline to the kitchen or getting pushback.
Precisely that. Those transitions are constant in pickleball. So set up two cones, maybe about 10 to 12 feet apart. Could be the baseline and the kitchen line, roughly.
Okay.
The drill itself is straightforward. You sprint forward to the front cone, like you're closing the net after a third shot.
All right.
And then you quickly backpedal, staying low, facing forward back to the starting cone. The key is that smooth, efficient transition between moving forward and backward without fully turning your back to the net.
Important detail. Don't turn around.
Right. Keep facing the play. Repeat this, maybe in sets of 5 or so. It really builds that specific speed and agility you need to move between those critical court zones quickly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for dealing with dinks, but also getting back if they lob or drive you off the net.
Okay, yeah.
Agility ladder drills. Those always look, well, complicated. Like they require some serious coordination.
They do engage your coordination, definitely. And maybe they look a bit fancy, but they are incredibly valuable.
Right.
They really help develop overall foot speed, rhythm, which is important, and that crucial brain-to-body connection for making your feet move quickly and precisely.
Right.
You can use a physical agility ladder, the rope or plastic kind, or honestly just lay out some tape lines on the ground in a ladder pattern. That works fine.
Okay, don't need fancy gear.
Not at all. Then you can experiment with different patterns. Simple ones like stepping in and out of each square with both feet, or moving side to side, keeping one foot in the ladder, one foot out, or maybe a crossover step where you cross one foot over the other through the squares. Each variation just challenges your footwork, your agility in a slightly different way. Keeps your brain engaged, too.
Okay, sounds like a fun way to mix things up, challenge yourself mentally and physically. All right, our fifth practical drill focuses on balance and core control.
Yeah.
Why is that so, intertwined with good footwork?
They seem related but distinct.
They are deeply intertwined. Think about those moments in the game when you have to really stretch wide for a volley,
Yeah.
Or maybe lunge forward to dig out a short dink right near the kitchen line.
Mm-hmm.
A strong sense of balance, which is anchored by good core strength, is what allows you to execute those movements without completely losing your stability. And if you lose stability, you usually lose control over the shot.
Right. You hit it weakly or pop it up. Exactly. So for this drill, it's pretty simple conceptually. Just stand on one leg, hold your paddle out, maybe like you're preparing for a volley or a ground stroke, and just try to maintain your balance for, say, 30 seconds.
Okay.
Then, to increase the difficulty, try closing your eyes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you'll immediately feel your ankle, your leg, and especially your core muscles firing like crazy to keep you steady. It really highlights the connection.
That sounds deceptively challenging. I'll have to try that, maybe not near anything breakable first.
Good plan.
And we've got a bonus drill mentioned here, the kitchen quick step. This one sounds very specific to those fast hand battle exchanges right at the NVZ line.
It is highly specific, and because of that, highly effective for that scenario.
Yeah.
You stand close to the kitchen line, ready position, have a partner stand on the opposite side, also near their kitchen line.
Okay.
Your partner then gently tosses or hits soft volleys just to your left and right, within easy reach but forcing you to move slightly. Your job is to use quick, small, lateral steps, shuffles, really to move and volley the ball back. All while consciously making sure you stay behind that non-volley zone line. No foot faults.
Keeping it legal.
Exactly. This drill directly trains your ability to maintain legal positioning during those fast exchanges, react rapidly, and use those small controlled steps to defend the net effectively.
These are all fantastic, really practical drills.
Okay.
Okay, now let's flip it slightly. Let's touch on some of the common pitfalls.
Yeah.
What are some of the frequent footwork mistakes you see players making out there?
Oh, there are a few common ones. One very, very prevalent mistake is playing with flat feet,
Right.
meaning your heels are kind of planted or down on the ground most of the time. If your heels stay down, your reaction time is just significantly slower.
Right.
You really want to cultivate that habit of staying light, primarily on the balls of your feet, ready to spring, ready to react.
So stay bouncy.
In a controlled way, yes. Bouncy and ready. Another really common error, especially when moving sideways along the kitchen line, is crossing your feet.
Like in the shuffle drill we talked about not doing.
Exactly. When you cross one foot over the other while trying to shuffle sideways, you immediately compromise your balance. You become unstable, and it can leave you in a really vulnerable position, easy to attack.
Yeah, easy to get wrong-footed.
Precisely. Always strive to keep your feet roughly parallel, maintain that stable base during those lateral movements. Shuffle, don't run or cross over.
Okay, that makes perfect sense regarding balance. What would you say is maybe a third common footwork mistake we should watch out for?
A third one I see quite often is overreaching for the ball instead of actually moving the feet to get the body into the correct position.
Guilty as charged sometimes.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
It's tempting, right? Just stick the paddle out. But when you excessively extend your reach, lunging with the arm instead of stepping with the feet, you lose that solid base. Your balance is off, your weight might be going the wrong way, and your ability to control the shot, put it where you want, just diminishes significantly.
Right.
The key really is to always prioritize moving your feet first. Get your body behind the ball so you can make contact from a balanced, controlled stance. Move your feet, then hit.
Okay, so the big three mistakes: flat feet, crossing the feet laterally, and reaching instead of moving the feet. Got it. Solid reminders.
Right.
Now, practice is one thing. What are some effective strategies for making our footwork practice actually stick, making it translate?
Yeah, making it become habit. Well, one of the most valuable tools, as I mentioned with the split step, is to record yourself.
Okay.
Playing points or even just doing the drills, it provides really objective feedback. You can actually see if you're staying light on your feet, if you're crossing over, if you're reaching. It doesn't lie.
True. The camera's honest.
Very honest. Also, make it a consistent habit. Try to begin every playing session, every time you go out, with maybe 5-10 minutes of short footwork drills as part of your warm-up.
Okay, build it in.
Yeah, it not only prepares your muscles physically, but it gets your mind focused on moving your feet right from the start. And if you have access to mirrors, maybe indoors during bad weather, use them. Watch your posture, check your balance while doing some shadow swings or simple footwork patterns.
Good idea.
And finally, try to make your practice engaging. Don't let it become a total chore. Turn some drills into friendly competitions with a partner. See who can do the ladder drill fastest or who makes fewer mistakes in the kitchen quick step. Timed challenges against yourself work too. Keep it interesting. Keep it motivating.
Great tips for making practice more effective and, yeah, more enjoyable too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've put in the drill work. We're trying to make it stick. How do we consciously translate this improved footwork into a real game? When pressure's on, points matter.
Yeah, that's the critical transition, isn't it? It's one thing to do it in a drill, another in a match.
Right.
It's not enough to just perform the drills in isolation. You need to make a deliberate, conscious effort, especially at first, to integrate these things into your actual match play.
So be mindful during points.
Exactly. Make a conscious decision. I'm going to use my split step before my opponent hits the ball on every single shot. Even if it feels a bit forced initially, it's a small movement, but it makes a huge difference in your readiness.
Okay, what else?
When you need to reposition laterally, maybe along the kitchen line, actively choose to shuffle using those principles from the drill rather than lunging or reaching with just your arm. Think, shuffle, don't reach. And after you hit each shot, especially in those quick back and forth volleys at the net, make sure you actively reset your stance. Get balanced again before the next ball comes back. Don't just admire your shot or stand there waiting. Recover, reset.
That concept of reset footwork seems really important, especially, like you said, if you get pushed back or pulled wide at the net. Can you maybe elaborate just a bit more on that specific reset?
Absolutely. So let's say your opponent hits a good shot that forces you back, maybe a few feet behind the non-volley zone line. Your immediate focus, as soon as you've hit your return, should be on using quick, efficient steps. Maybe those forward sprint steps we practiced to regain that advantageous position right back at the kitchen line as quickly as possible.
Get back up there fast.
Right. It's about rapidly closing that distance you were forced to give up and reestablishing your presence, your pressure at the net. Those forward-back sprint drills we discussed, they directly build the specific agility and speed needed for this crucial reset footwork. It's about reclaiming your territory.
This has been incredibly helpful, really insightful. It's so clear that, while, yeah, it might not be the flashiest part of pickleball,
Definitely not the flashiest.
good footwork is truly the unsung hero.
Yeah.
It just underpins everything else in a strong game.
It really is. You could call it the bedrock, the foundation. It's a consistency, better shot execution, better court coverage, and ultimately becoming a much tougher opponent. It's all built on that foundation.
So for you listening, we really hope you take these drills, these ideas, and start, weaving them into your regular pickleball routine. Even just picking one or two to focus on.
Start small.
We're pretty confident you'll start to feel a significant improvement, maybe subtle at first, but definitely an improvement in your agility, your balance, and just your overall performance and confidence on the court.
Absolutely. And maybe as a final thought to leave you with, good footwork is often that invisible skill, right? The thing people don't notice until it's really good or really bad, but it elevates every other part of your game.
Yeah.
So consider this. What single, maybe small adjustment to your footwork, based on what we talked about today, could potentially have the biggest positive impact on your very next game? Something to think about.